I decided to switch my whole direction in my life.
Tell me this, Ben.
I can build products, I can build apps, we can do websites.
Sorry, MetaMask. Every podcast we say something about MetaMask.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, MetaMask.
They invited us to New York City.
Like $500 per month or something like that.
Something
right?
like that. Yeah. I decided to sell my shares there, but there's no literally niche for products in banking system.
How did this exact thing happen?
You can work in Casa. I still remember $10 million TVL in a whole DeFi. Wow.
You know where we're going after this podcast? We're going to go smoke shisha. Yeah, of course.
And also because of the game development. Because it's not so... it's really not easy to gain their traction and build a company really fast. And I decided to switch my whole direction in my life from the game dev to something. So I thought those times okay, what I can do? I can build products, I can build apps, we can do websites, so we can literally build some maybe marketplace for two-dimensional designers or something like this. And then I think okay, even if we already did games, what's the most expensive niche, or what's the most profitable niche? What's the most profitable niche? And I thought those time okay, so if we can do any bank application, we're literally going to service all of the customers regarding the transactions, some deposits and stuff like this, so financial tools. And I think, okay, I started researching in Ukraine that what I'm able to do, actually nothing, because I need to have a license and I need to have a license from a national bank, and it's not easy, obviously, for a guy like 21 years old. So I think, okay, there's not approximately, it's not way to me. I think, okay, maybe I can work for some bank. And then I check Monobank and the private bank that where can work, and they said to me, you can work in Casa. or you can be like a loan manager for
like $500 per month or something like that.
Something
right?
like that. Yeah. So I decided that's that might be a shitty move, because it's like income drop and what the career there, and there's literally no career at all. So I searched okay, what about technical directions inside of the banks? And I discovered that they are on a very low level, so they are not even inventing things. They're just keeping their front ends and back ends, and that's it. And they hiring PMs. I'm not personally a developer. I can just a bit write code, but I'm not a dev. So my career is not a development, not deep development. And with the same time, I'm not a designer. So I think okay, it might be some product, but there's no literally niche for products in banking system.
And just maintenance, right, of what they already have. They don't do a lot of development.
Or just multiplicating it for other countries. And
because the whole banking sector is so stable that when you're trying to implement something new there, you're literally gonna be treated like a comedian or something.
Still there's no innovation in this market. It's just the classical approaches, and everything depends on the access of the banking licenses in some
I call
countries.
it enterprise approach. There is no startup approach in there, just enterprise thing. And that's a very right point to mention. And so what you actually did after, so you found this thing out that, all right, banking doesn't work. I want to put my money into something. I'm interested in doing some banking related stuff. So how actual DeFi thing went to your mind? Where did you find it? Maybe somebody told you about it. Maybe you just found it on some forum or whatever. How did this exact thing happen?
There was no DeFi those time, actually. The people around even didn't think about the DeFi and crypto at all. So in parallel of all of these streams, my partner with the game development studio decided to went to USA. So I had two options there. Okay, I can be here like a back office, or I can try to went with them, but this was very expensive for me. And I decided to sell my shares there and quiet from this industry at all, game development. And I had my classmates. We met with them in Kiev. Right, I'm done with all of this game development stuff. We met to smoke shisha.
All right.
All of the things always around the shishas.
Yeah, shishas. In post-Soviet, aka Slavic countries, everything is related
It's like
to
a
shisha.
working.
You know where we're going after this podcast? We're gonna go smoke shisha. Yeah, of course. It only works this way, guys. If you want to do business with Slavic guys, you should learn how to smoke shisha. All right.
So we get a meeting there in like our co-working, and I got an offer from my friend those time that they tried to build another outsourcing but in crypto. But with approach to establish some product-oriented company, something like this. So like we literally, they decided to start as outsourcing, then to switch to products. And I got an offer to be their business development, but at those time I already had some money, and I understand like, okay, that might be a good choice to start a journey in crypto in any case. So the same time as my classmates, and they already spent a few years in mining and some development of the operational systems around the miners.
All right.
So they literally became my teachers. And these two guys, Matvey and Kornei. And they invited me to be a BD first, like a head of BD. And during this time, I start learning what is actually the development around the crypto. Because I knew before that, okay, we have like a backend, front end, we have some cloud server for part of the multiplayer in the game engine. That's literally it. Like the dimensional stuff I know very well, some engineering stuff I know very well, but there's came like smart contracts, some like cryptography, wallets, HT accounts, and all of this. It was so complex those time to understand, but I had really good teachers, Matvey and Kornei. And there was a really good atmosphere those time because they put me in the battle right from the start. So they bring me to the conferences and say like, there's a few guys, you should sell them our developments. That's it.
Nice.
So
very straightforward approach.
Yeah, it's literally very straightforward.
Sell me this pen.
Kinda like this. And we started this journey, and I've been for a couple of months at BD. Then we, as a company, decided to move in a more product, as agreed, in a more product-oriented way. And in parallel, allowed outsourcing stuff. Madfish, the company, participated in the hackathons. And there was a few hackathons there about the DeFi, actually. So the DeFi era just started.
Which year it was?
2020, something like this. 2019, 2020, yeah. And those time, from the part of the history, there was a DEX, the first DEX on Ethereum, Ether Delta.
Ether Delta.
Yeah.
Okay.
DEX with the order book model. It totally doesn't work because the time of finality of Ethereum, because there literally is not possible to match orders, and this was very expensive for people to even create an order. So, and those time that was like a first DeFi protocol on which right after the launch, SEC went to the court.
All
like
right.
Them. And they put they like non-comunicado, like in John Wick. So the literally SEC says as you're not eligible to do it. You are doing trading stocks, and as I remember, they put in charge some of the founders. So there's literally still the article from SEC about the Ether Delta right now.
All right.
It still exists. So that article, DEX, no. And that was like a first, just the first touches of the DeFi there. And there was MakerDAO also with Sai. There was no DAI, it was Sai at first. And all of this worked in very stressful way. So you literally didn't understand what's happening with the transactions there. So the wallet don't connected, connected barely. MetaMask right now look not good with the UX and UI, but those
sorry, MetaMask. Every podcast we say something about MetaMask. Right?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, MetaMask.
But those times it was
even worse, right?
Yeah, even worse.
Okay.
And during the hackathons, different blockchains those time decided to recreate the path of Ethereum, and they said like, okay, we are going to establish a smart contract on our chains. And one of those chains was Tezos. After literally the ICO, they invented like their proof of stake chain. They had the smart contracts, and they established a few hubs, and one of them was in Ukraine. And they started a hackathon, and on the hackathon we won with 3 type of products: wallet, DEX.
Nice.
And
what was the third type?
Also the lending protocol. But lending protocol wasn't pre-development. The first 2 was the wallet and DEX.
All right.
And then with this company, I saw like a lot of potential of this. So I agreed with the founders to become a co-founder of this company, because I was really interested in be with the shares and be in charge of everything around. And because we starting this path of the product-oriented company, starting from the hackathons, we get a grant from the Tezos Foundation. They invited us to New York City. They speak with us like, okay, you're good and you can continue. We agreed with them to develop wallet, DEX, and the lending protocol. And they give us enough money to fully cover like 2 years of development, establish new office, hire new people there, and quite all of the outsourcing stuff. So we literally, I personally called all of our customers and say to them, so that's what we agreed we're gonna did, and that's gonna be done. That's
right.
it. Yeah.
Nice.
Some of the customers I transferred to different companies in Ukraine, and we started our product like a product-oriented journey with Tezos and with these grant funds. We did wallet, DEX with 3 types of formulas. There is a CP DEX, Constant Product Market Maker, CP DEX, CL DEX. We also that lending protocol, fork of Compound, but all of this fully in a different language, because Tezos had and not EVM languages.
Not EVM.
Yeah,
right.
There's Pascal, Ligo, not Solidity. And during those times, I became I literally buy like an option in my co-founders. So I agreed with them to do some KPIs and pay money. And I became a chief operational officer, because one of them was chief executive officer, another one chief technical officer, and I became a chief operational officer with a part of the product work. And during this time, because I was very interested, I literally tested all of the DApps in the market. So there was only one market, Ethereum, and there was no DeFi Llama. It was DeFi Pulse.
Never heard of it, actually.
The same dashboard like a DeFi Llama, but especially for Ethereum.
All right.
And on DeFi Pulse, those time was 60 products. Just 60.
60 products
60.
in general, in the entire DeFi.
Entire DeFi.
Wow.
And before that, even 10.
Wow.
And I still remember $10 million TVL in a whole DeFi.
Wow.
Then 1 billion in a whole DeFi.
It's like, you were at the beginning of this Wild West.
Yeah.
It's like you literally saw the birth of DeFi in this market.
Yeah,
that's
like a DeFi
awesome.
summer.
And you were balls deep into DeFi back then, I see. Like as far as you had to analyze all the products, and as you said, you were basically just seeing how DeFi was born, and what is actually happening with it. And this is like, I'm already answering to my next question, because I also want to dive kind of deeper into your KOL activity, if I can call it so. Because I personally knew you from your public appearance on social media, talking about DeFi and, just spreading the word about it. And like after Mathfish thing, and you know, since you guys started to escalate with the entire development and working around DeFi stuff on more and more, how you started to share the word to the people? Like, what was the first idea when you were like, all right, I want to share my expertise in DeFi with other people?
So those time, I decided to test all of the projects, like all of the DeFi things. If right now I checked a few years ago, actually, to recalculate from those others how much gas I spent, it was like $7,000 just to check. And those time it was because Ethereum cost. I literally remember Ethereum for 100 per one Ethereum, 300 per one Ethereum, and there already some DeFi was there. We did some swaps. There was the first version of the Uniswap. Ether Delta before, Compound, Yarn Finance, Sushi Swap also.